I want to start off this Black History Month episode by saying happy birthday to Trayvon Martin. He would have been 28 on February 5th. Rest in peace. It is day number 7 of Black History Month, and I've got more gems to share with you. So let's get into it. Lucy Stanton. Anyone ever heard of her? Well, let me tell you about her. She was the first Black woman to earn a 4-year degree. She graduated from Oberlin College in 1850 with a literary degree. So MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., we know a lot about MLK just because history, that is of the 8 to 9% of Black history that is taught in the schools in America. We do know about him. But did you know that he entered into Morehouse College as a freshman at the age of 15? Smart guy. I didn't know that either, you guys. I'm learning new stuff too. So for all my folks out there who love Western movies, did you know that historians say that 1 in 4 cowboys were Black? They don't show that in mainstream movies or anything like that, but that's what they're saying. And speaking of cowboys, and I may be dating myself, and that's okay. If you've heard of the Lone Ranger was this masked man. He had a Native American sidekick called Tonto. It was a series that came on, I don't know if it was in the 50s or the 60s, but the Lone Ranger, he wore a mask, good guy, and he rode on this horse named Silver. He used to say, "Hi ho, Silver." Well, it is said that his character was based on a Black cowboy. And the cowboy that it was inspired by was a man named Bass Reeves. Now, Reeves was a slave who escaped slavery. He eventually became a U.S. Deputy Marshal, and he was known for his excellent marksman skills, and he rode a silver horse. Can we have anything? So we've talked about Lucy Stanton, MLK, and some Black cowboys. Now let's talk about some cars. Did you know that there was at one point in time a Black-owned and operated car company? The first and only African-American owned and operated automobile company was called C.R. Patterson's and Sons, and the founder's name was Charles Richard Patterson. Charles Richard Patterson, he was born into slavery in Virginia in 1833, and he did end up making his way to Greenfield, Ohio, which there was an underground railroad station there as well. Now, in 1873, Charles and a local carriage builder named J.P. Lowe, who was a white man, they entered into a partnership together, and they created a company called J.P. Lowe and Company. And by all accounts, this business actually was thriving and it was successful. They had employed about 10 people, so they were doing well. And then something happened. It was called the Panic of 1893, and it affected the economy. So with the result of the Panic of 1893, Patterson, he ended up buying Lowe's share of the business and basically bought him out. And that's when the company name changed to C.R. Patterson's and Sons. So by the 1900s, Patterson, he's doing well. His sons are helping him out in the business. He's producing about 20 different carriages and buggies because that's what they specialized in. And they had about 50 employees. In 1910, Charles passed away and his son Frederick took over the business. So once Frederick took over the business, he slowly started to transition away from making the horse-drawn buggies and carriages to horseless carriages and changed the name of the business to Patterson Greenfield Automobiles because they were in Greenfield, Ohio. So a little bit about Frederick Patterson. He was a leading figure on his own. So not only was he a part of kind of this historic, it was historic, first Black-owned and operated car company. He also was the first black man to play football at The Ohio State University. So they were trailblazing. You know, that's my term. So on September 23rd, 1915, the first C.R. Patterson's and Sons automobile was assembled. So they made their first car. That is such an awesome thing, making a car. You know, we think of Ford, we think of Honda, think of Chevy, we think of all of these, but didn't know there was a C.R. Patterson and Sons vehicle. But the first one was made in 1950. It was assembled. It was a two-door coupe. And it was sold for, get this, $685. Can you even imagine? And I know that was big money back then, but now, like, give me a few of those. So the first car was made, it was estimated they built between 30 and 150 cars. Unfortunately, there are none around, so none of them survive to present day, which is unfortunate. I hope somebody out there has one. That would be nice to see and restore it and everything. So to this day, C.R. Patterson's and Sons remains the only black-owned and operated automobile company in American history, and that's according to the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. So there's a little history for you guys. Hope that I provided some knowledge. If you didn't know, now you know. And as always, we have to know our past so that we can trailblaze our future. Stay woke.